okay to be broken. It's okay to laugh and cry. 'Cause when you try to see the problem, that means you figured. And you can say that I'm crazy, that you're thinking already, but I'm telling you, baby, yeah, get up and get out. Get up and get out. Yeah, and you can say that I'm crazy, that you're thinking already, but I'm telling you, baby. And you can say that I'm crazy, that you're thinking already.
And now it's time to get unmasked. Please welcome your host, Pamela Elaine Nichols and Cheryl A.S. Hurley.
Well, hello there. We're glad that you're back with us. Welcome, everyone, once again to Unmasked Real Talk Live. This is a place where we get real about topics not often discussed openly. We love to reward those who are in our Facebook group and who participate in the weekly challenge. And we reward them by putting their names in the raffle. So today, those who participated in last week's challenge, their names are in the raffle for today. So if you find that your name is not in the raffle, don't be upset, never fear. All you got to do is participate in the weekly challenge, then we'll drop your name in. This is something we changed up a little bit, so we hope that you're cool with it. All right, so also, Cheryl and I are women of integrity. If we say you won, you did win. But if you did not get your raffle gift, please let us know and we will get it right out to you. We intend to honor every person who got something special in the raffle or won something special in the raffle.
Yeah.
Let's see. So today's raffle is a self-care surprise gift. Now, I would like to be in this raffle. I don't know if Kayla will put me in, but because I did participate in the challenge. Okay.
So did I.
So okay, then so why can't our names go in? Okay, whatever. This week's challenge will be dropped in our private Facebook group. Be sure to add your comment to the challenge by Monday, November 21st, the day before we go live on the show and the week of Thanksgiving. Post your comments below as we unmask today's topic, which I know you gonna love. Okay, Cheryl?
You're going to love it. Welcome. Today's topic, we don't have a man in the room with us on today. And Pam and I, it's just great spirits think alike. We didn't plan these colors, but isn't it amazing that we both have on green today? So that means we getting ready to lean in with this topic. And it is stop putting yourself on the back burner. Now, you notice that image there. We are serious about this. When we talk about the back burner, that's exactly what we mean. There's a quote by Oliver Myers that says, if you don't put yourself first, you are letting the world know you can wait, and you will wait, because time you put someone else's happiness before your own, you drop yourself down a place until you are last. Now, today's conversation is a teaser of a treat that we will share with you later in our show. So we're going to jump right in with a powerful thought for you to think about, which is this: when you sacrifice yourself for other people, you make them a thief. Now, isn't that something?
You can wait. You got to say that one again. You got to give that one again.
I want you, because we want you to ponder on this thought. When you sacrifice yourself for other people, you make them a thief. You make them a thief. Now, many of us are familiar with the concept of paid time off, which is known also as PTO time, which is widely known in the workplace. But isn't it interesting that while corporate America understands the risk of sacrificing themselves to the extent that it results in burnout and health issues in their employees who don't take time off, some of us, if not many of us, tend to overlook the risk for women who don't put themselves first. Now,
Mhm.
when you think about it, why do we tend to continually, consistently burn the candle at both ends with justifications that sound like, and I know I got some amens out there that's going to be forthcoming, but they
Mhm.
sound just like this: I got to get this done, or
Yes.
who else is going to do it? While this might be true, what do you think the risk is when we put ourselves on the back burner? Do you think it might impact our happiness? We look at some of our sisters and we say they look miserable. Could it be that they're burning the candle? Mm. Could it be that it might affect our health? We have a myriad of health challenges that arise in our lives. Could it be because we're putting ourselves on the back burner? Do you think it might impact our behavior? You know, some of us could be real unseemingly in our character when we show up. We keep it real. Attitudes that you like, well, what, because we're putting ourselves on the back burner, possibly? Or does it impact our ability to have greater satisfaction with life balance? As we unmask the heart of today's topic, when do we get to the point that we stop lying? And we're real intentional with that word. When we stop lying to ourselves and listen to our bodies that are crying, just stop.
Mm, 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 mm,
You,
mm,
you know,
mm,
you,
Just
just
stop.
stop. Just stop. And this is so real for Pam and I. And as we share with you, when we come on here, we're not talking about anything that we have not struggled with, that we have not experienced. When we talk about putting ourselves on the back burner, there's not one of those possibilities of what the causes or the results of doing that that I, your girl, has not personally experienced. I know
Mhm.
what it feels like to have myself experience burnout that affects my health. That it is affects my happiness, it affects my life balance, and it affects my doing the things that I was called to do because I put everybody else's needs before mine. But
Ooh.
Pam, I don't know if you remember. I was in. I was finishing up a program at Eastern University at St. David's University. 4 days before I was supposed to graduate, I fell. I passed out, hit my head on a concrete floor, and had to be rushed to the hospital and was hospitalized. And guess what, y'all? You know what the culprit was? Being stressed because I had
Mm,
put every single person's stuff on in front of mine and I put myself on the back burner. And as
mm.
a result of that, I missed my graduation. I missed
How?
I missed my graduation because I was hospitalized. And you know what else? One of the persons that was responsible for my stress. And I want to make a distinction here because sometimes when we think of stress, we think about the people that are in our immediate circles, like our family. Stress comes from a myriad of things. But one of the chief culprits of my stress came to visit me in the hospital. And they told me, because I allowed them, they told me that I need to take it easy. What did we say earlier in our introduction in that quote? If you don't put yourself first, you are letting the world, and the world represents people, know that you can wait. And you can
Mm.
wait because each time you put someone else's happiness before your own, you drop yourself down to a place that you are last. I was last laying up in that hospital bed while everybody else was out there doing their thing. And I said, you know what? This has to stop. But I know,
Mm,
Pam, you
mm.
have something to share because I can tell you it didn't stop right there, y'all. I'm going to keep it real. It did
Keep
not
it real.
stop there. It didn't
Yeah,
stop.
yeah.
It,
Because you had a subsequent.
yep.
You've had a couple or few since then, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Pam, first it was the high blood pressure and then the low potassium because I was moving so fast. I wasn't taking care of myself. My body was saying,
Mhm,
drink water, get more
mhm,
potassium, but I was ignoring it. Then the next go round, because we were in the heart of the pandemic. Remember that, y'all? Instead of us going into physical workplaces, I was working from home, working
mhm.
on my computer, eating what I thought. And notice, and I'm gonna be real transparent, I'm the queen of self-care. the queen of self-care, but was not taking care of myself to the fullness that I could because I was not listening to my body. Ended up going into the hospital again. This time it was diabetes. I'm eating.
Ooh.
And see, what happens is that our bodies are telling us there are moments that we need to just stop. But I kept going on like Mrs. Ever Ready Battery. Like I just
Mm.
kept going, and kept going. But I tell you, at the beginning of this year, your girl was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer. And I praise God that I had surgery, had my treatments, and praise God, all is well. But I tell you something,
Mm.
this go round, something changed for me.
Mm.
Now I could tell you without any hesitation or reservation, guess who puts herself first all the time? I do.
Hmm.
But we had
Mm.
to go through 3 bouts of health challenges before I got to the place that I heard the message. Cheryl, you got to take care of yourself. And these things happen when we put other people before us. We do it all the time. All
You
the
know, I'm so curious about how you now put yourself first. Like, what are the things that you do or that demonstrate that you're now putting yourself first in a way you didn't before? And I know, and I want to throw this out. Like many of us think self-care is going to get a pedicure, manicure, or hair done. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, great, take care of yourself externally. I'm just curious, what are you doing differently?
What I'm doing differently, Pam, is that, and for our audience as well, is how often do we take time to do what we just said, to stop? I
Mm.
take time to stop and assess where I am mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Because self care, I'm huge on the dimensions of wellness, and self care is beyond all that stuff that we think is self care. Self care is knowing where you are at all times, knowing how you could show up. Because if I'm having an emotional challenge going on, guess where? I need to take some time at that moment for myself to regroup and evaluate and assess where I am and do what I need to do for myself. When it comes down to my physical, when I'm tired, let me tell you, I'm the person that I could tell you, Pam and I, but I'm gonna speak for myself. I was a queen of burning the candle at both ends 24/7. When girlfriend's body says you're tired and you need to go to sleep or you need to pause, and I listen to my body.
Yeah.
Before I ignored my body. I said, I'm just gonna keep pushing it. I'm gonna keep
Mhm.
pushing it. And that was a struggle for me because one, I'm a perfectionist. One,
Mhm.
two, I have a type A personality. It was hard for me to see something that needed to be done and not do it at that moment. I have
Mhm.
learned how to say, you know what? I need to take care of me. That gotta wait. So I put the stuff on the back burner. And I do. And
Yeah.
I don't have a, and the third thing, I don't have a problem saying no. And I teach that. I do not have a problem saying no. I don't have to
Mhm.
be at every engagement. I don't have
Mhm.
to be at every event. I don't have to do all this stuff. I prioritize myself. And it's not
Yeah.
that I'm being selfish, but I'm taking time to do what Cheryl needs for herself. But I tell you, when you go through certain, we have all types of challenges that we go to, but going through that challenge with breast cancer, something shifted for me. Something
Mm.
shifted for me that I recognized, like, you know what? This didn't have to turn out the way it did. But
Mhm.
it, I need to be real, real, real intentional about making myself a priority. And I say to my sisters all the time, I've been there. You talking to the queen of busy. And I know what
Mm.
it looks like, but busy, it when I see it, it alarms me because I'm like, I don't want people to have to be
Yeah.
stricken in some way physically for you to stop.
We don't need that as the wake up call. We
No.
don't need, and you know, one of the things I did notice about you also, like when we're doing Zoom, we're having our Zoom meetings and so forth. And if your grandson knocks on the door or something, you don't even give him time to explain all of his needs. You're like, not right now. I'm right now. I am unavailable, and he may not get it the first time, and you say it again. He may not get it the third time. Ultimately, it's like, I not right now. So sometimes it's
Yes.
we need to say no, and
Yes.
sometimes we need to say not right now, so that the person knows later, but not right now, because right now I'm taking care of things I need to take care of. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It
Absolutely.
looks like we've got some comments going on here.
Lady Dale, hello, Lady Dale. Dale has put in here, she said, good stuff, sisters, and in the moment steps. Yes.
Mm,
And wake
mhm.
up before we need. Oh, I love this.
Woo!
We need a wake up call. And I'm telling
That's good.
you, that is good stuff right there. And what
That's good
happens is,
stuff.
how many times do we not do that? How many times
Mm,
we not do that? So when I'm advocating for self-care, there is a level of passion that I can't even explain, because when I think about what I went through, and Lady Dell's in the room, and she always says we grow through what we go through. If I
Mm.
had to go through 3 different bouts to understand the dimensions of that, I tell you, I got it. I got it.
Mm.
Well worth it. And I see, like I said, I see my sisters. We see our sisters. We sometimes are going and sometimes while we have to, we just have to prioritize it. That it doesn't.
Yeah. And one of the things that I was thinking about with this topic
Mhm.
is, you know, when we are not in alignment with what we're called to do, we will burn the candle at both ends
Yep.
because we are not in alignment. Because God says, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light." So if we are not feeling, I mean, I'm not saying don't work. I'm
Right.
not saying don't put in effort. But if we are struggling, it's like we're going up the hill in high heel shoes and a ball and chain at our feet, then something is wrong.
Right.
Something is off.
Yes.
And the whole stop, you
Yes.
know, think, assess is an important process because we need to be asking ourselves, okay, where am I off? Because this is taking way too much energy than it needs to take. And I am learning.
Hmm.
In fact, I was just thinking about this today when I was flying from out of town here back here to Philadelphia.
Hmm.
That I am, as you know, Cheryl, I
Hmm.
fly from the East Coast
Hmm.
to the West Coast, from the East Coast back to the West Coast,
Yeah.
every single month,
Mhm.
twice a month. I'm on a plane, and while I think I have noble reasons for doing it, good reasons for doing it, it is beginning to wear and tear on me. Now, I would not have admitted that until I was thinking
Mhm.
in the airplane today. I mean, in the airport today, I was thinking, why does my life feel like it's such a uphill battle?
Mm.
Why? I mean, I'm doing these things that are important, but I'm feeling so much stress over it. And last week
Mhm.
I was having chest pains.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
So I checked myself into urgent care to try to get an understanding of what's going on. And I've never had
Mhm.
chest pains. I've never in my life. But I
Mhm.
was thinking somewhere I'm out of alignment.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I was really talking to God about this. What is it that I'm not, what is off in my life? And he took me back to a dream I had. And I won't go through the whole dream, but it was a powerful dream that ended up in some guide taking me along this path. If you want to think about the yellow brick road and the Wizard of Oz, he was taking me along this path.
Yeah.
And I was thinking in my head, where is this person taking me? We're going nowhere because I always got to get somewhere. We were
Mhm.
going nowhere. And he was taking me along this path. So the moment I thought in my head, where is he taking me? I didn't say it. I thought it. He
Mhm.
turned around and looked at me and said, don't worry, we're almost there. And the moment he said that, his head came off of his shoulders and went into the heavenly, went into the sky. And as I watched this, I was like, oh my God, what in the world? And the
Mhm.
moment I said that, my
Yes.
head came off my shoulders.
Mm.
I shot up into the heavenly spaces. And there I heard a voice, just
Mhm.
as clear as day. It said, it was loving, but it was firm. And it said, why are you not doing what I've called you to do?
Mm.
Cheryl,
Mm. 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 Mm.
I'm going to tell you that dream still
Mhm.
haunts me. And I
Mhm.
mean in a glorious way because
Yes.
whatever that thing is,
Mhm.
I'm still not doing because I'm struggling.
Mhm.
And I'm not taking care of myself the way I should. I'm not being selfish in the good way. And I want that to come to an end. That's gonna have to come to an end because I don't want to end up in bed because they got to do an EKG or what is it called when
Mhm.
your heart stops working. They gotta
Mhm.
resuscitate you in that way. I don't want, as Dell said, I want to wake up before I need a wake up call.
Exactly. And you know what, Pam, is so powerful what you just shared. And it speaks to a point that Dale put in the comments that I want to read. It says, I believe we confuse our purpose with our assignment. Purpose has already been determined by God. It is external and it's ongoing. Assignment has a specific focus and a timing. And that is so powerful. And one of the other things that, as I listen to you share, and we're hoping that our viewers are taking note of this as well, you also need to have an accountability partner who's going to love you enough to challenge you, because y'all heard, like, this is my sister in love, and I'm telling you, we go back. And when she told me last week that she was at urgent care, now we are texting because she's a text queen. She'll text you in a heartbeat. We are having a conversation in a text, and I'm like, we had something major planned for today. And as I listened to her, and I recognize how important that we are. And sometimes, even in our healing journey, we will put ourselves on the back burner because we got to get it done. We had a conversation and there was no argument. What we had planned, we postponed it to a later date, because what I recognize for my sister, and I love her enough, and I love all of you out there enough to say that there are times that you have to be flexible to change things for the sake of your own well-being. You just heard her say, I needed to change some things. And guess what? I wouldn't be the sister that I was if I didn't hear her heart and hear what she was going through. Say, I know we got this to do, but let's move it back. And her openness to recognize that we need to do that. Whatever we're supposed to do, if it's God ordained, it's going to happen when God wants it to happen. We don't have to help them out. We don't have to feel like, well, we got to do this and we got to do it now, because there's some things we have to do, but that's where delegation comes in. If we can't do it, then we need to God. We don't have to find God. Show me who can execute this, because right now I'm not in a position to do it. And again, it's key when we recognize that. And because we've been through it, we being real naked and being real raw, we understand what it feels like. But we want to tell our sisters, we want to encourage our sisters, stop. Your body's speaking to you all the time. She said chest pains. Chest pains is something that you feel. Your body's speaking to you. Take your mind to the emergency room, ER, or urgent care somewhere, because there's something going on. But how many times do we ignore that?
Yeah.
How many times do we ignore that? Or we get headaches. We get pains in our head they're not going anywhere. They just come back a different day, but we keep going and we don't stop.
Yeah.
It's silent.
Yeah.
Is silent. It doesn't speak to you. It doesn't say, guess what? You're stressed. You need to go in and lay down. You need to rest. Your body speaks to you.
And I've heard Oprah say that it starts with a whisper.
Yep.
Then it gets a little louder. Then it gets a little louder. And then it just and that's sort of the, before you wake up, before you need a wake up call. But sure, I'm looking at the time. Goes
Oh,
so fast. I think we've already been talking about the unmasked question, but do you want to go ahead and ask it?
yeah. We want to ask the question, and anybody can respond. Why do we struggle with putting ourselves first on our to-do list? We want somebody to talk to us. Somebody put in the comments, in the chat. Why do we struggle with putting ourselves first on our to-do list? We
Mhm.
want to
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna take a stab at it first,
come
because
on.
I think that my struggle is probably similar to other people's struggles if they really think about it. And it's this: we place our significance
Oh,
in somebody else's hands. We place our significance in somebody else's hands. We are looking to someone else to validate us, to tell us that we are significant, to tell us that all this sacrifice that we're making for other people is so well worth it and so worthy. This, I believe, is part of the struggle, looking to others to validate us and to make us feel significant. I know that's the case for me, even though if you were to ask Pam, do you put your significance in somebody else's hands? Of course not. Don't be silly. Yes, you do. And maybe in the eyes of my mother, oh, you're such a wonderful child. Or the eyes of my children, mom, you're so sacrificial that you fly here and there and everywhere to be with us. Or maybe my ex-husband to say, see, I am not the bad mother that you told me that I was. There are so many ways in which I can see significance I've placed in someone else's hands.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to add one other caveat to that. Somebody already said so right, but there's one other that I'm going to add to it, and it's simply this. Sometimes we put our significance in what we do rather than who we be.
That's it.
We focus on the doing instead of the being. And
And
when you do that, you shortchange yourself every single time. It goes back to that quote that says, when you do that, what happens? You find yourself last on your to-do list. So they'll put in here, I believe it is connected to our lack of self-confidence and self-worth. Absolutely. And busyness is often connected to the need for external validation.
that's what I'm trying to say.
In this room, I'll be like, high five, because that's exactly it. Our focus needs to be on being and not so much of the doing. Because
Yeah.
if we're going to be on that front burner, not on that back burner.
Oh, I love that image. And we have one other Facebook visitor said, so right. Yes. And this was good, ladies. I needed this. I'm so glad this was good, ladies. I needed this. I'm so glad. But we got to move on to the 3 takeaways and the raffle. And we only have a few minutes.
Yep.
What's the first takeaway, Cheryl?
The first takeaway is take PTO, personal time off, to advocate for yourself. Only you, and listen clearly, only you have the power to know what's best for you. Pam, give them the second one.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add purposeful time off. PTO. If you don't like personal time off, do purposeful time off. Okay. Make yourself a priority. Check in with what you deserve, ladies, and need, and make sure that you're getting it.
That's right. And our last one is, when your body speaks,
My.
do us a favor and listen to it. Listen to your body. Man, these 3 takeaways, it's something that's so needed. Caleb, we're looking at the clock and we're going to say, go ahead and roll that raffle.
Roll the raffle. Today's raffle is a beautiful candle. The names of those who participated in last week's challenge are in today's raffle. That's how we like to reward participation in our Facebook group. All right. Do I see my name in there?
Nope. The Mermaid Day. Yay! Congratulations.
Okay.
You are going to get this fair surprise. So we want to message your address and we'll make sure we mail that out to you. Pam, let's tell them about the little surprise, the little teaser that we wanted to
Okay, so if you're tired of being last on your list, ladies, are you ready to shift from being fatigued to first, to wake up before you need a wake-up call? Join us for an upcoming interactive webinar that Cheryl and I put together called First from Fatigue to First. 5 simple shifts to put yourself first. We're going to drop the registration link in our Facebook group, and we'll also put it on our YouTube channel as well, so that you can join. It's open to all. It's interactive, which means that we're not just going to be talking to you. We're going to actually be asking you some questions, engaging you, and stimulating your thinking. And we will leave you with 5 critical key steps to put yourself first. Lady Dale said, I'm registered.
I'm registered. All right, Lady Dale.
All right now.
Yes.
We got somebody already proactive on this thing. Yes, that is great. So Cheryl, let's say goodbye to the wonderful people who have been with us. Thank you all so much for joining us again for UnMasked Real Talk Live. Be sure to participate in this week's challenge so we can put your name in the raffle, and be sure to join the webinar that we're putting together. See you soon.
All righty. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
And you can say that I'm crazy,